This wasn't just a market crash. It was a targeted demolition. We've all seen the charts for the internet computer. A 95% collapse that cemented the story of failure. But what if there was something much more sinister? What if there was a motive? The internet computer's technology is designed to replace a multi-trillion-dollar cloud industry. It threatens the dominance of established blockchains, and it offers a version of the internet that can't be easily controlled or censored by governments. When you're that disruptive, you don't just get competition, you get a target on your back. But how did they do it? And is there proof that it's still happening today? For months, I've been trying to make sense of the internet computer. And honestly, it's been frustrating because nothing adds up. You have the story the market tells you, a catastrophic failure, a zombie token down 95% from its peak. And then you have the story the data tells you, a project with relentless innovation, consistently top-ranked developer activity, and a mission to fundamentally rebuild the internet. Both these stories cannot be true. So I started digging, trying to find a thread that connects them. And what I found wasn't a simple story of a failed launch. It was a trail of breadcrumbs that led to a sophisticated attack, one that was executed in 3 phases. If you wanted to destroy a project's reputation forever, how would you do it? You make its birth a public disaster. The key to this is a financial weapon wielded by FTX and Alameda Research, a perpetual futures contract. And here's the craziest part. They launched these 4 days before the real ICP token ever existed on any other exchange. It was like printing monopoly money and convincing everyone it was real. I went back to look at the trading data from May 10th, 2021. For hours, it was quiet. Then in the 8 hours before the launch, the volume of this fake market just exploded. We're talking 30 to 40 times normal. They used over $241 million to pump the price from a stable $176 to over $450. This set the stage. And when real exchanges like Coinbase went live, they saw this insane price and used it as a starting point. The results? A completely artificial and unsustainable valuation of $230 billion. It was designed to collapse. The goal wasn't to make it succeed. The goal was to make the failure so spectacular that no one would ever trust it again. With the price in a nosedive, the attackers needed a story. And just weeks later, one magically appeared. A report from a firm that no one has ever heard of, Arkham Intelligence, dropped. It used on-chain data to claim the Affinity team themselves had dumped the tokens. It was the perfect narrative. Greedy insiders and a classic crypto rug pull. But here's where things get wild. The New York Times immediately ran with it, giving the story a stamp of legitimacy that was almost unheard of in this space. But as I dug deeper, I found the counter-narrative. Allegations that Arkham was a shell company, potentially paid to create the exact story. It was a brilliant and cynical move. You start the fire, and then you hand the media the story that the homeowners committed arson. The project wasn't just financially damaged, it was reputationally executed. All of that was just the setup. But this is the grand discovery. It's the proof that the story isn't over. It's the paradox of what the internet computer is right now. On one hand, you have price charts that scream failure, a zombie token, just like the story says. But then, you look at the activity. this project consistently ranks at the top of the entire industry for development. They are shipping incredibly complex tech, running AI models on-chain, and creating trustless bridges to Bitcoin and Ethereum. And for me, that's when it all clicked. Because these two things should not be in the same reality. You do not see this kind of development with dead projects. So the only conclusion that makes sense out of all that evidence is that the price isn't real. It's not a reflection of the technology's true value. It's an echo, a ghost of a successful assassination attempt. And the price is still being suppressed and weighted down by the perfectly crafted false story from day one. They need you to believe it's a failure, because if the world ever starts valuing this project on its merits, the world computer could finally wake up, and that's their greatest fear. My journey as an apprentice is about finding the why, and the why here is bigger than just a crypto token. This was about neutralizing a threat before it could even stand up. The powers that be, big tech, big finance, and the governments they influence had the motive. The evidence shows that they had the means and the opportunity. This isn't a story of failure. This is a story of suppression. And the only question left is what happens when a project this powerful that was supposed to be dead refuses to die. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. And as always, stay blessed.